What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Handmade and Beyond podcast. I'm your host, LL, leader of the handmadeandbeyond.com website and community. I'm a self-employed entrepreneur, an Etsy expert, and business coach who's figured out how to make my entire living with my handmade business. Each week, I'll dive into strategies and success tips to help you with your handmade business, with Etsy, and everything in between. Let's dive in. What is going on, Handmade and Beyond Nation? Welcome back to the podcast. Glad to have you guys back as usual. Super pumped for today's episode, but I'm always pumped for the newest episode, right? Hopefully you guys are too. Glad you guys are joining me, whether you're on your commute or you're at home, you're in the gym, wherever you're playing me at. Glad that you guys are tuning in, and I'm super happy to be back with you guys. All right, so I'm back with another good episode for you guys. This one is going to be on how to avoid bad advice. I want to touch on really 6 main advices, whatever. Maybe I'm making up words here. If you guys get the drift, right? 6 main points where I've heard bad advice, or people have told me that they've gotten this advice. And I've been in the game long enough to know that I don't know everything, and I'm never going to know everything, but I do know the general best practices and strategies and tips that you guys can use in your businesses based on factual, data that I've seen, people that I've coached, members of the Handmade and Beyond community, results, and in my own Etsy businesses over the years. So I know whether some of this stuff is actually true or some of it is false. And a lot of, that's what, when starting a business or, going online or trying to really make money, you got to really sift through the junk that's out there. And a lot of it's trial and error. You may implement some stuff and realize that it's not good advice and you shouldn't do it, which is the case with me. I've been given some pretty bad advice here and there, but I'm the type of person where I do it and then ask for forgiveness later, or I deal with the consequences later as far as business stuff goes. So I will chase a shiny new object, or I'll follow the rabbit down the hole, whatever analogy you want to use there, and then I'll be like, oh crap, that didn't work. So, or maybe it did work, but I believe in taking a ton of action, and sometimes that may lead you astray, but you will learn so much more and you will accomplish so much more if you decide to take action. Now, you have to be strategic and try to do the best you can, but that's still better than taking no action. But anyway, sometimes you follow some bad advice and you realize that it's probably not the best thing in the world, and then you pivot and move on and you learn from it. And, that's just what you got to do. That's part of having an online business, part of being an entrepreneur. You just have to bounce back. You have to pivot. You have to constantly get up. You're going to make mistakes. And honestly, the more mistakes you've made, if you made a ton of mistakes, you're much closer to success than someone that's starting out. And if someone tells you that they're successful and haven't made mistakes, then they're lying. It just doesn't happen. You cannot be successful without making a ton of mistakes along the way, because you will learn and it'll get you closer to meeting your goals. It'll get you closer to what you want if you learn from those mistakes and are taking action enough to make a lot of mistakes. All right, so I'm going to get off my soapbox here, and I'm going to dive into some of the bad advice that I've heard, that I've seen, that I've actually followed and done, so that you guys can't make the same, or so you won't make the same mistakes, because this is what this is all about. It's why I do this. I want to make your life and Etsy journey, your business journey, a little bit easier than I had early on when I didn't know what the heck I was doing, who to get advice from. And I just had to figure this stuff out on my own. Now I'm hopefully helping you avoid the same pitfalls. All right, so the first one is impractical marketing or impractical strategies. So you may hear some crazy strategies out there or different things, and people tell you to do stuff to be successful where it's not practical, it's not sustainable. No one in the right mind could sustain it for a long period of time. For instance, if you post on Pinterest, 100 times a day or 1,000 times a day, I mean, that type of stuff is, that's a marketing strategy. It's just not practical. Yeah, I mean, if you do it, you may find success. I mean, because you're getting a huge amount of quantity of stuff out there, but how many hours are you spending? Are you going to go insane eventually from all that work? You're 100% going to get burnt out. It's just not sustainable as far as that strategy goes. Another one is, start an Etsy POD business, print on demand business, and just throw a bunch of mud against the wall and throw a bunch of stuff out there. You're not printing it. You may not even be creating it. And then you're going to have passive income, because if you have a print on demand company doing it for you, then you won't have to do anything. Well, that's that. I mean, so many people have tried that, and so many people it has not worked, because first, you're not invested in it. You're just doing it to make money. You don't even care about what you're creating, the products, the process, Etsy, any of that stuff. So you're just throwing a bunch of stuff out there. You don't have a defined niche. You don't have a defined brand. Your margins are super small. It's just not sustainable. It's not going to get you guys what you want. There's really no such thing as passive income. There really is not. You can do things that are more passive, but you always have to take action. And I'm not saying that print-on-demand companies, shops can't be successful, because there's plenty out there. But they're not doing it. They're not in the game to only make money. They actually care about what they're making, what they're creating. They just need a partner to create it. So you can do it successful. But money and just throwing stuff out there shouldn't be your first and only reason for doing it. And that's where people make the mistake, because they just want a passive income business, and it doesn't exist. You can make your life easier. You can make things a little bit more passive, but you always have to take action in your business. You always have to be pivoting. You always have to be creating new stuff. You got to be aware of what your people want and bringing something to the table. You can't just open a business and take. It doesn't work. You have to give, and then maybe you'll be able to start taking once you get things off the ground. But you have to go in it as a giver first, really enjoy doing it, be passionate about it, and that's what will take you to the next level. All right. Number 2 is renewal strategies. So back in the day, there was a bunch of people out there saying that because Etsy gave you a little bit of an SEO boost with new listings, you should renew your items every day or every other day and take advantage of that boost. Now, that used to be the case, but Etsy found out that people were gaming the system, and they changed the algorithm. So the algorithm knows if you're just renewing just to renew. They will not give you a boost if you're doing that, and you will just be eating a bunch of money up, especially if you have a lot of listings. They're just going to take your money, because it's not going to necessarily help you. Etsy does automatically renew your listings once if you have multiple items and one item sells. Like if you sell 10 of something and it sells, then you'll have 9 left, but they'll renew that listing automatically, and you'll automatically pay that renewal fee. So a lot of people were just going in and renewing that listing again when they didn't have to, when Etsy was already doing it, and then they were renewing stuff that didn't sell as well. Which if Etsy can tell if it's a brand new listing or not, or you're just renewing it to renew, and it's not going to help you. So renewal strategies do not work. They are a thing of the past. Now, there are certain instances, maybe after a long period of time, you may want to start fresh. If you need to revamp your listing and it's really not performing, then you may want to create a new listing and not worry about renewing the old one. So there's instances where you can kind of do different things that make sense from a strategic standpoint. But just going in and renewing your stuff every day is just going to cost you extra money. So don't do that. The third one is focusing only on getting outside traffic. All right. So a lot of people start an Etsy business, they're raring to go, and then they just start posting on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and that's all they do. That is their main focus. They just focus on everything outside of Etsy. They don't have a good understanding of really what's going on within Etsy, Etsy SEO and all that stuff. They're just trying to push outside traffic in, which can work. I'm not going to lie. It could possibly work depending on what you're posting and how you're posting, and if you have a strategy. But you really need to dive into Etsy, understand Etsy, the best practices, and really get that up and going. Get good organic traffic going in your Etsy business before you start going to outside channels. A lot of people just get impatient. They're like, I'm not bringing in anything, so I'm going to pay for Facebook ads, Instagram ads. I'm going to start posting a ton on social media channels, which at some point that may be a layer of the onion that you want to work in, but not at the very beginning when you're trying to get your shop off the ground and, figure out the best practices and the strategies that work, figure out SEO. That's the most important. Etsy has millions and millions and millions of traffic and buyers coming every day. So you just have to figure out how to capitalize on those buyers and get your piece of the pie through SEO, through your shop sections, through your shop management, which you absolutely can do. But if you don't crack that piece first and you put the cart in front of the horse, your struggle is going to be a lot harder, especially if you start sending traffic from outside channels to your shop, to your listings, and those people aren't buying because of the same reasons that people on Etsy aren't buying. Your SEO is going to take a huge hit. It's going to kill your shop performance because it's going to see all this traffic coming in and no one's converting. So if you really need to get a good handle on Etsy first and then branch out and add those social media layers in once you have a good handle of what's going on with Etsy. Because if you can make organic sales first, that means you can make additional sales outside of Etsy by bringing in additional traffic. But you got to make sure that your stuff looks good, your SEO is good within Etsy itself. All right, so the next one, number 4, is you don't need a brand. I think this is a big mistake. Should be something coming out of the gate that you have a good idea of what your niche is, what your brand is, what your shop name is, and then what's the backbone of your business? What do you represent? What does your brand represent? What is part of that? What's its belief system? Is it part of you, which it probably is and should be? And then that will help guide you down the road and help you stay on track. So you stay on brand, stay on target. You don't get off track because a lot of people just go in. They don't have a clear they just don't have a clear image of what their brand is, what they actually want to accomplish, what they want to do, what products they want to create. And then they end up going all over the place and probably straying from their brand or straying from their shop name or what they originally started selling. And then, if you're selling stuff that's all over the board, all over the place, and it doesn't really match your brand, that's going to make it hard for the algorithm to target. It's just going to make it harder for you. And then when people come to your shop, it's kind of going to look like a yard sale, so to speak. So come up with your brand, and your vision for the future. What does it represent? What are you going to sell? And that will help you stay on task, on target with releasing new products and selling stuff within the scope of what that represents. So it's a lot more important than I think people give it credit for. And that's, that'll just help your business as a whole solidify, your brand and what it stands for. All right, so the fifth one is I've heard this a couple times is you want your Etsy business to be successful, blow up your friends and family to buy from you. Tell them to come. Message them every day, every week to come and buy from your shop. All right, so yes, support from friends and family is important. It is good, but you don't want to be nagging them to buy stuff from you constantly. Maybe you share it once in a while just to let them know what you're doing, but you shouldn't be using your personal social media channels to hound your friends and family. It's just going to turn them off. It's like, not that have anything against multi-level marketing companies. Some can be successful, but usually the first strategy is part of those companies is go after your friends and family first, and then branch out from there. And that's really tough because you don't want people to be avoiding you because you're trying to always sell to them and market to them. So let them know what you're doing. Maybe put a link on your social media channels, but have separate social media for your business, and then focus on getting the organic traffic, growing your business that way, because your business isn't going to be sustainable and it's not going to grow just based on friends and family. It's just not the way that it works. You got to get the organic stuff going and focus on that. And keep your friends and family. So you don't want them being like, oh man, Sally's gonna try and sell her baskets to me again. Every time I talk to her, she's asking me to buy. So you can be that way with your customers. That's fine. That's why they're your customers. All right. So the last one I want to talk about is you don't need to invest in your business. All right. So this is not good advice because you do need to invest in your business at some point in time, depending on where you're at, depending on your goals, right? You will need to invest in your business, whether that's with tools, money, knowledge. That is important if you want to get from point A to point B. So you may need to add in new tools, more machinery, new machinery, efficiency tools to help with social media, to help with SEO, such as like Allura or something like that, eRank. So there's tools that will help you get along faster than where you want to go. Whether you join the Handmade and Beyond community, get the best practices, get the courses, get the live coaching, have someone, myself in the help forum helping you along the way so you don't have to struggle. Those are investments, right? I did the same. I invest thousands and thousands of dollars every year in my business, whether that's with webinars, whether that's with live trainings, location trainings I have to go to, tools that I use to help my business, to help efficiency, to help save time. But that affords me to make thousands and thousands of dollars more. I couldn't have gotten to a 6-figure-a-year business with Etsy without investing in my business. It's not possible. You will have to do it. It doesn't mean you have to go broke doing it at the beginning. You can be smart with how you do it. Some of the money that you start to make, you can put aside to invest in your business, or you can invest in your business to help you start making money at the beginning if you're strategic and smart about it. But a lot of times most businesses lose a little bit of money before they ever make money because they have to invest in their business. Brick and mortars do it all the time. They start in the red. They have to invest in the storefront, all the machinery and stuff. Most of them don't have that cash up front, but they're betting on their business's future, that they'll get things on track, and that investment will get them the revenue in the future. So online's a little bit different because it's so much easier. You can do it a lot cheaper, but a lot of people think because of that, you don't have to invest anything, and that is not correct. At a minimum, you have to invest in knowledge and then add the layers of tools and things like that to make you more efficient in the future. And then depending on what you make, you're going to have to invest in machinery, and supplies and all that stuff, but you can do that inexpensive too. I remember when I first started screen printing, I bought the cheapest press that I could buy, super cheap, only a couple $100. And that lasted me a little bit while I was trying to figure out Etsy, figure out all the other moving parts. It didn't matter because I wasn't getting as many sales, so I didn't need the best machinery that was super fast. And then eventually I spent a couple $1,000 on upgrading my equipment, but that was after things were starting to click a little bit. So just think about it that way. It'll just help you along your journey a lot faster. And it's really hard to be successful if you're not willing to put money into your business. You can't just take out of your business. You got to put money into your business. You got to invest in your business to get money out. It's like going to college. You don't show up to college, pay $40,000, and then walk away with a degree the next day. You have to, A, invest that money, and then B, do the work, go to college for 4 years, and then C, maybe you'll get the job that you want. You don't just pay the money, get the job, and you're good to go. It just doesn't work like that. So with business, it's kind of the same way. Invest in yourself, invest for your future, be smart about it, be strategic about it, have goals that you want to accomplish from that investment, and then that'll help you stay on track and move the ball forward. But it is super important. All right, so those are the 6 bad advice topics that I wanted to cover today that I've heard, that I've personally done. I'm not going to tell you which ones I've done, probably most of them. But I've learned a lot, and now I can bring that to the table to help you guys out so you're not making the same mistakes, because that's really what I want for you guys, to get further along in your journey, not have the same struggles, and just have the support to know what to do. It'll just help you, just help the frustration. That's really what it's all about. A lot of people get frustrated, and I hate to see that. So outside of that, if you guys need more help, more support, courses, tips, strategies, best practices to grow a solid, not only Etsy business, but solid business foundation, I'd love to have you in the Handmade and Beyond community. I have a 30-day free trial, so you can go in there, test drive everything, work with me in the help forum. I'm in there every single day answering questions, strategizing, talking about best practices, doing shop critiques, doing listing critiques, doing SEO brainstorming. All that stuff is in the help forum, not to mention there's over 50 courses in the Etsy Success Roadmap with the best practices, showing you exactly what to do to improve your business, to grow your business. And then if you get stuck, if you need help, hey, the help forum is there. And then I also do live coaching every single month. Love talking with my members, with other Etsy sellers. We have fun, we joke around, but we do deep dives into shops, we critiques, everything live, so on the screen so you guys can see it. We do that at least once a month, usually more. So there's all those major components put together so that you can have the support system in place to really grow your shop, invest in yourself, invest in your future, and get to where you want to be ultimately with your business. I'd love to see you in there. There's a link below. Outside of that, I'll be back next week with another amazing episode for you. Have an awesome rest of your day.